Good evening and welcome. I'm Vincent McCory. This is Africa 54. Tonight we begin in Kenya, where the terrorist group Al-Shabaab and Islamic State continue to lure young Muslims. To fight back, a local organization has launched a Deradicalization program to train imams to work with the affected youth. Lenny Ruvaga has our report.
Jihad, as we have seen in this clip, does not...
Ramadhan Aula leads two radicalized young men through a session talking about counter-narratives. Aula is the program manager at BRAVE, short for Building Resilience Against Violent Extremism. The program has reached 2,000 young Kenyans, some of them sent here by court order, some who signed up on their own. Clerics and imams can sign up for a 4-day session where they learn how to counter the message of radicals. One of the program's ads has caught attention nationwide.
In Somalia, terrorists are killing Muslims. In Kenya, they seek to kill non-Muslims to create animosity between faiths.
Mandera, 22nd December 2015.
Kenyan Muslims shield non-Muslims from violent extremist attacks. These brave Kenyans saved lives. They protected their neighbors.
Here in Pumwani, on the outskirts of Nairobi, is Riyadh Mosque. In 2013, a United Nations report linked one of its officials to terrorist funding. Imam Izzeddin Omar has been at the mosque for 5 years now. The BRAVE program trained him on how to detect and counter extremist leanings in his community.
Before these youth accept to be de-radicalized, it takes time, and you have to go step by step. Then there are those who are deeply radicalized, and changing them back is quite hard, but by Allah's grace, we manage eventually.
Abdul Mwangi is one of those youth. Mwangi attended sermons in other mosques where radical preachers called on people to embrace jihad or holy war. He shied away from that line of thought after going through the BRAVE program.
We were able to be told about the issue of the narratives. At least after there, alhamdulillah, what I can say, like for myself and my other youth, even if you tell me something that Quran says, yes, I will accept, but I will not do anything like doing implementation before I go back to the Quran and confirm for myself, or else I go to the Hadith or any other books that you might have been quoted.
So far, BRAVE has trained about 150 clerics and imams like Omar. But the founder of the program, Mustafa Ali, says some are still staying away due to fear of reprisal.
Many Kenyans, particularly the Muslims, have been intimidated by the violent extremist groups to such an extent that they don't want to talk about violent extremism. They don't want to talk about terrorism. Now, this intimidation is so intense in places like Mandera in northeastern Kenya.
De-radicalization programs are not new. Saudi Arabia has run a well-known program since 2004, but there is a lot of debate as to whether they actually work. Experts say root causes like unemployment must also be addressed.
Radicalization programs are dealing with symptoms rather than causes of the problem. The real question is simply what causes people, youth particularly, to move from being alienated, marginalized and the like, to picking up weapons, in other words, becoming radicalized, to going off and to fight, to join terrorist groups or subversive groups, insurgent groups.
As prisons across Africa fill up with terror suspects, that's a question the continent can't afford to dismiss. Lenny Ruvaga for VOA News, Nairobi.